Kevin De Bruyne has been announced as leaving Manchester City at the end of this season. The news has come as a bit of a shock to me because obviously Fabrizio Romano normally leaks every little piece of footballing news, and he hasn't done that. It's just come out straight from Kevin De Bruyne and the Manchester City account, which is nice to see. Over 300 Premier League appearances, over 100 goals, over 100 assists, 6 league titles. He is probably up there with the top 5 greatest players in Manchester City's recent history. The likes of Vincent Kompany, Aguero, David Silva, all come to mind, but Kevin De Bruyne has definitely stapled himself in that. He's been pivotal in Pep Guardiola's run as Manchester City manager. Obviously, when he first came in, De Bruyne he came from Wolfsburg. He was known as being a bit of a flop at Chelsea. At Wolfsburg, he did well in the Bundesliga, and then he came to the Premier League with a bit of a chip on his shoulder because he'd failed in the division previously. Pep Guardiola deployed him in that number 8 position alongside David Silva. At the time, that was seen as being very, very, very bold because that's 2 number 10s in 2 number 8 positions in the Premier League, which is known for being quite a tough league, physical league. David Silva certainly wasn't known for being a tough player. Kevin De Bruyne wasn't either. They were both known for being technical playmakers, really. And then obviously with Fernando behind them, it was basically 1 number 4 or 6 and then 2 number 10s, and it worked. It really worked very well. And De Bruyne has been key in Man City's transitioning from having, obviously, Aguero up front at the start to a false 9 where it was the likes of Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gabriel Jesus starting up front as false 9s, and obviously this new iteration with Haaland up front, Diaz at the back after Kompany left. It's going to be really, really weird to see Manchester City without De Bruyne. Obviously this season he's only made, 12 appearances. He's not been exactly a key player. He's looked sluggish, he's been injury ridden, and it's probably about the right time for him to depart. Saudi League, MLS, probably going to be the leagues on the card. I can't see him going to another top European side because he's coming towards his mid-30s now. With the injuries he gets, has he got it in him to have another 2 or 3 seasons in the top level? Players can surprise you. Obviously, Pirlo comes to mind as a player who went on to another top side and did really, really well when he went from Milan to Juventus. And there are other examples of that in football, but we'll have to see on that. He's not announced anything yet. He's just said these are his last few weeks at Manchester City. Pep Guardiola still has another year at the club. He's going to be here until at least 2026, meaning that he's going to have to be pivotal in reshaping this Manchester City midfield again. Obviously, when Rodri comes back from injury, he'll sit in that pivot role. But who else is going to be in that midfield? Because Foden can play as a number 8. Bernardo Silva might be leaving sometime soon. Gundogan's old. Gonzalez came in and he's another number 6. Could it be Gonzalez and Rodri as a double pivot with a number 10? Florian Wirtz could be a player who comes in. Obviously had an unbeaten title win with Bayer Leverkusen last season. Almost won the Europa League, won the FA Cup, the German FA Cup. Really, really good player. Florian Wirtz did really flourish under Pep Guardiola, I believe, as well. Another player who I think could really come into Manchester City and do well is Morgan Gibbs-White. I've seen him at Sheffield United. He's seen Forest go from relegation candidates to being a Champions League contender, and he's been pivotal in that. He can play in that number 8 role, especially in a midfield 3. Can play in a number 10 role. He can even play as a false 9 if he needs to. But they've got Haaland and Mamouche, so that probably won't be necessary. But I'd really like to see Gibbs-White at a top elite side. And it's interesting that Wolves obviously got rid of him a couple of seasons ago because they didn't see a spot for him in their side. Imagine if he went on to Manchester City, one of Europe's elite. I'd like to see what you guys think other players could be to come in and replace De Bruyne because, again, as I say, this is a Manchester City rebuild which is ongoing. Obviously, this season they signed Kushanov at centre-back, and they also signed the Brazilian lad. Obviously, Gonzalez is coming in midfield. Mamouche has come in. There's something happening at Manchester City right now. And I've got a feeling over this summer it might not just be De Bruyne who leaves. Gundogan, I think he only signed for a year, so he might be off. Bernardo Silva, he's always rumoured to be leaving, so he could be off. There's other players in Manchester City who could also be off. So it's very interesting to see how it goes over the summer for them. If I had to pick a player to come in and replace De Bruyne, I'd go Morgan Gibbs-White because, as I say, he's 23, 24 now. He got an England call-up, going to qualify for the Champions League. And I feel like he's ready for the next level of, playing Champions League football. So let me know down in the comments, De Bruyne leaving, is it the right time? And who comes in to replace him? I'm really interested to know what you guys think, but what a legacy is left. It's going to be a different Manchester City without him, and I'm looking forward to see how it goes. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.